going to just approach as yourself and as a known person at the island and just say, hey, can I take a look?
Yeah, maybe first. Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's very easy. The person in question who is not the doctor but just an assistant and locks up and things like that says, sure, he knows who you are. Says, hey, Johannes, and so you and has no idea why you would be looking, and says nobody's died in weeks, so it's just sitting here. Have a look. Opens up this long freezer, the same kind of thing you would put like hunted game in, right? So you would keep your deer parts in it. And so and opens it up and is as surprised as you can imagine. This guy is completely shocked to find that there are several. They are not very much. It's just a few small brown paper bags, like for lunch, 3 or 4 of them, and then they have little packs in them.
Yeah. So I think it's time to call the cops.
Mm-hmm. And the interesting thing here is that so for the law enforcement side of it, it's not a very interesting story, right? And we don't need to narrate very much.
No. But they can arrive and document that stuff, right.
But on the other hand, you can find out from Lasse that the guy that he talked to, the guy who gave it to arrange this, was a guy he only knew as the guy used an American name, which is Johnny, but of course Lasse pronounces it Yoni. And and he was very much a fast talking South American guy who spoke very, 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 very excellent casual English.
Okay.
And Lasse may not be the world's best student, but they do teach English in gymnasium, so or primary school. So so anyway, that's all that really goes on there. So
okay.
Anyway, you guys are seeing little bits and pieces of all of this without much of a through line, and that is okay. I'm not requiring. I'm not really. This is mostly cleanup, right, of the situation you are in, unless you want to push it harder. I would like to go back to the broadcast of Micke Strom's podcast is very, or video cast is very excited about the cosmonaut and Havsmännen, and is all about, and they have this eyewitness to the events. He's very, he says to Sandir several times, why couldn't you have taken some video? And Sandir just looks at him like he's a complete idiot. He has no, obviously, he was fleeing for his life and hiding under bushes and jumping out of the way of things and terrified. And this guy's asking him if he, took a selfie with Cosmonaut, right? So there's that. And yet, let's see, where did that... I'm just keep looking at the wrong guy.
But when I see them like speculate on things there,
right?
Do I find anything that have some kind of value?
Well,
on a weird level.
Yes. Well, one of point that I will say is that Micke Bistrom has been preparing this for a while. It's a whole conspiracy theory, a breakdown of the 1950s cosmonauts and how they got to the moon first. And so, and that's where you can see the pictures. These suits are not the same as yours. They are much more primitive. Your suit is better than the 1950s and early 60s Russian cosmonauts.
Yeah.
That's the first thing you can tell right away. It's much better. Your suit is better. And then second, that there's a deep belief now that cosmonaut has been on the moon and has come from the moon. They're saying, there's a moon base there that must be his base, right? And that, why would he be in Göteborg? What is going down here in Göteborg that the cosmonaut, he's obviously very heroic, he's not just a Russian agent or something like that. Maybe he's a rebel from the Russians, right? Maybe he's a Russian or something like that. So as you can see, they are nowhere near anything resembling actually understanding you. They're just very creative.
But I'm thinking of what their theories around what happened in Hammarkullen. Do I find any signs of someone saying something that seems to be on a kind of esoteric
or something like that? Yes, anybody?
Yeah, something that to everyone else it seems weird, but they say something that.
There is a commenter who seems to be frighteningly articulate about the old cosmonaut program and is feeding Wikström details and reinforcing that particular story. And as you are watching, it seems pretty directed. Somebody is really cementing and reinforcing this this obviously inaccurate portrait. That's the main thing, is that there definitely seems to be an external effort toward reinforcing an inaccurate story about the cosmonauts.
That's strange. Do I have a name of that?
As soon as you start, you would have to use your computer programming, because the name instantly spatters out into random search results. Right? I mean, it's.
I can do my computer programming on that.
Go right ahead.
And that's also is that also intelligence?
It is.
I will just. And then I roll 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's 12, and I am 30.
Perfect. Well, guess what? After quite a while of comic book computer, right?
I totally get it.
Whatever it takes, right? Whatever special effects we need to show what a badass on the computer net you are.
Matrix rain across the screen.
Guess what? You have just hacked into the KSI.
Ooh.
Okay. All right.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even know that. I'm more like, oh my! I didn't know that I could do that.
So
I have no one to tell this, but I'm in.
That's exactly right. That's right.
All right. So I also have that much knowledge about this that I know that I have limited time to do anything inside here, because I will be either thrown out
tracked
or something, right? So yeah.
FRA is going to be knocking on your door any second.
Yes. So I will. I'm actually trying to find the name of the guy that was stuck in the that's the only thing that I will spend the rest of my life. I set my timer and countdown and do as much search within 3 minutes or whatever time limit I can see that I have.
All right. Well, in that case, you will be very disappointed in the details and information that you have to go past. Right? You are going, I wish I need that file. I don't have time. Right? And so there's all this cool shit. You are into scanned, digitized microfilm that's just buried in storage somewhere that doesn't even have a menu to get to it. right?
It'll be there tomorrow.
Right. So the point is, you're in a region of data storage that people in the facility itself don't even access.
No.
Right. And so the name you find there is Bengt Bernson.
Yeah, that was the name.
I was going to say I recognize that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I will leave you to that for the moment. Ulf, do we have time for you to meet Hankvist?
Yes, okay. Absolutely.
Well, let's go fairly quickly in terms of narration, because we could spend lots of time talking about how nice it is. If you remember the last few days, how nice it has been in Sweden, and how beautiful the taxi boat going through the archipelago would be.
Yeah. I did have a suggestion on location.
Oh, tell me.
Yes, because there are a lot of military installations out in the archipelago, and due to cost savings, etc., a lot of them are also abandoned. So there is one that I know, but that's a little bit further north, but it's on Björkö. So straight across from Bovik, if you Google that on Google Maps.
Got it. Björka ending with an E? Okay. Oh, yeah. So it's two E's.
So, yes.
Okay.
One in the middle and one at the end. Perfect. So as far north as you can get on Björkö, on that island, there's a little place called Bovik, which is actually used to be connected to the marine defense of Sweden, but it's now just a sailing school for kids.
I see.
But the western part of that island, the whole northern tip, the western part is or used to be underground bunkers and military installation for the Navy.
We of course. I mean, yes. You have found the spot. Okay, so what is important is that Hankvist will not meet you at that facility, but at a little place where you can pull up a boat on the same island, somewhere that the students probably use to sail around when they are doing this. Right. Sure. And so the important point is that he wants to take you out in a boat, out to a little place out in the water, right? So not to land. But he will explain to you that he says it's time for you to learn more about what happened 9 years ago. It's time for you to learn what happens to your grandfather, and we want you. He says, I want you to know that our agency respects you and your heritage, and that our priorities are completely aligned. That we regard ourselves as support service for you. So right. So he seems quite non-hostile, as I say. He gently reminds you that that your destructive behavior, has been handled at the highest level, and is
it was a bike shed.
Well, you busted up that building too. But the point being is that that there is no record or association with those events, with you.
Yes. That's good.
And he says this in a very friendly way, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Right. In case you were worried, that kind of